Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Kaba Ilco number 861R 26D 10. This is an aluminum cylinder collar is what it is. Let's take some dimensional properties and then we'll discuss what this is used for. The outside diameter, not that it's, well, people like to know that, 1.395, so 1.4 is the outside. Inside diameter, 1.176. The thickness of the collar, and that's where the R in the part number comes in, 0.502, so ½ inch is what that's meant to be. Okay. What would you use this collar for? It's obviously used for mortise cylinders or rim cylinders, but why? Let's talk about that now. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Cylinder collars like this, cylinder rings, trim rings, cylinder collars, compression rings, wave washers. These items are used to fill the unused space from the underside of the head of the cylinder to the face of whatever you're installing that onto. A door, a piece of hardware, whatever it might be. And different thicknesses are available to account for different size requirements. And examples of that would simply be, very commonly, you'll have an 1.25" cylinder in an aluminum storefront. You don't need a cylinder that long, it's just that's the shortest one you can get. Sort of scenario, or maybe 1.1" would be more appropriate. A 6-pin original Schlage cylinder is going to be 1.1" at a minimum, 1.25" pretty commonly as well. 1 3/8 is the shortest length that you'll see in a 7-pin small format mortise housing. You're certainly going to need a cylinder collar when you're installing that into 1 3/4 thick doors. You know, the rule I like to think of is what's the underside of the head to the back of the cam, or what's the door thickness? Divide that by 2, and then I'll take off a 1/16 of an inch, and that's what I want my cylinder length to be. And for whatever length I need to go longer than that ideal length is the cylinder collar that I need. That's just how I do it. Seems to work. You know, you're going to need a cylinder collar almost always. Very occasionally, you'll be able to get your hands on a really short mortise cylinder like a 15/16, and you can kind of make that work in an aluminum storefront by threading it all the way in. But you really don't want to do that in the sense that you probably need a cylinder collar anyway, and the design of this is twofold, actually. Not only to take up that space, that unused space, but if I were to try to get my pipe wrench on here and wrench the cylinder off the door, this collar is going to spin, is the bottom line. You might be able to take your fingers and just spin it when it's installed on the door. I'm sure that you can. It's not meant to rattle on the door naturally, but it's meant to be, it will end up being loose enough where it will rotate. That's the point of the cylinder collar as well. Many different finishes are available in this material. There is a chamfer that's around both ends. I think that's a result of the manufacturing process where they want that to be a burr-free perimeter or circumference all the way around. Nice, clean, safe situation, so they chamfer that all the way around, outside and inside on both sides. The R means ½ inch. You change that R and you get a different size, and I think the thing to do now is to switch to the screen view where we can take a closer look at the supporting information. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Here is the item that we are looking at. Let's take a look at some photographs that we have of the item. This is made of aluminum, and they'll put you know, finishes on it, which I'll show you more options of finishes in a moment. You can see that chamfer that's there, just to show you the detail. Thickness is ½ inch. There's a table here that allows you to review all of the different cylinder collars that we have that are the straight cylinder collars. I should have used the term straight cylinder collar. You certainly see why they would call it a straight collar versus tapered collars. That would be the 861B model. Tapered collars are nice because what they do is a tapered collar will fit like this. I realize this is a pretty awful drawing, but I think you get the picture of what I'm trying to show. Tapered collar. This point is tapered. This point is... yeah, I've got that drawn backwards. Tapered. It's tapered is the bottom line. You try to put a wrench onto there, and the point is that it will slip off. That's the intention of the tapered collar. Very vandal resistant, destructive entry resistant, things of that nature. So back to the straight collars, which we're working on. As I said earlier, when you change that letter, you change the thickness, as you see in this column. You can see how the letter changes here. Okay, all different thicknesses, up to 5/8 of an inch. Occasionally, I end up stacking two together for whatever reason that there might be in that regard. If you need collars long, solid single collars longer than 5/8, that can be accommodated. Kaba Ilco doesn't offer them, but others do, and we can help you with that. Same goes with these tapered collars. If the dimensions of the 861B don't meet your requirements, other manufacturers can help. I'm not steering business away from Kaba, but it's likely that you'll need a different size, especially when you're dealing with that 1 3/8 small format, because this dimension is, I think the recess area is 1/4 inch on the tapered collar. Yeah, head recess is a 1/4 inch. Projection is 5/16. So there's really only 3/16 here. That may simply not be enough. And with this sort of tapered collar, you might want the wave washer as well, which is here. There's a video of it here that will allow you to take a look at what the wave washer does. You would use it with any collar where the cylinder head would end up fitting into it, is where you'd end up using that. We're not getting that to load. Let's try YouTube directly. Sorry. Alright, so YouTube's having a little problem with pulling that video up, apparently. Let's show you a picture of what that looks like, to be sure. And we'll have that pulled up for you right here. There we go. That's what the wave washer looks like. So you'll use a wave washer in those types of scenarios where you're going to add you're going to use a cylinder collar. The point being is on this page is where you're going to be able to see other items that are related to the product that we are obviously talking about. So 861R, there's a link here below this video. Before we get to that, there's a technical drawing here that will give you a bit more of a raw factory internal document view of this cylinder collar, showing what it looks like. Different part numbers are referenced here and they give different dimensions. Nothing to really draw to your attention. It's just there because that document is available to us. Now that link to the manufacturer's page here, that's handy because it will allow us to review not only all of the Ives products that we sell by means of this horizontal navigation, here, but also a link to the manufacturer's website here, but also a link to the Keyblank catalog, which I bring to your attention only because, well, if you're dealing with cylinder collars, you're probably dealing with cylinders, and if you're dealing with cylinders, you're probably dealing with keys. The Section 2 would be the North American cylinder section, so if you're looking for Schlage, Sargent, Corbin Russwin, Yale, Chicago Lock, any manufacturer of key blanks that Kaba has, it will be in this section. The next document I'd like to show, and the final one, will be the brass cylinder list that's here. Actually, that's not the document. It's here, brass cylinder manual. And let's do a Control F for 861, and we'll get to the table where the collars are listed. Well, the 861R is our collar. That XX is the finish. Well, if we go up to the beginning of the catalog, we can see all of the different cylinders that they make. And there's a chart of the available finishes that they have. So you can kind of expect to see all of those collars technically available in these different finishes. Probably not all of them, but nonetheless. Brass, bronze, oil rubbed, black, chrome, satin polished, things of that nature. Duracolor is very common as well. Let's wrap up this video on camera. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, in conclusion, typical piece of equipment, why you would need a 1/2 inch cylinder. Quite frankly, it's probably for that small format interchangeable core. If you've got an 1 3/8 cylinder, you really can get by with something that's about 7/8 of an inch, and if it's a best mortise housing, the length of the body itself is 1 3/8. On a best, it doesn't include the cam. So 1/2 inch would be perfect for that application, in my estimation. So that would be an actual, if you were to order that cylinder, this would be that mortise housing. This would be the collar length, at least, or thickness that I would recommend, very likely. If you have any questions on the Kaba Ilco 861R and the 26D, by the way, the -10 means when these are ordered from the factory, they are sold by the factory only in bags of 10. That's what that means. You can buy any quantity that you want. Any questions on this or any other Kaba Ilco product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.